doing?
I'm doing well. Thank you so much for having me today. This is so exciting. How are you doing?
I'm doing fantastic. So finally we did it.
Yay. I'm so excited. Thank you again for the invitation. This is wonderful.
It's my pleasure. So first of all, thank you so very much for this live. We are honored to have you on board. This is our fifth live for this year's edition of Miss World, and we are so excited for this live as well. So how are you doing, and what was like? I think your day just started, so I can't say this thing like how was your day? So like how everything is going on?
My day is going great. I'm currently in Miami and I'm house sitting for my friend. So I'm sort of managing the household, which is why I've had to kind of let people in and out throughout the day. It's been a little hectic, but this is the perfect way to start the day. And I'm super excited to talk to you. So all is well over here in Miami. How are you doing in India?
In India, we are doing great. It's quite cold in India these days, as you all know, like winter is going on. So we are just sitting near the heaters, all the clothes on it, and we are just enjoying the winters.
Oh no, you need like a jacket or something. I feel like you got to put a
Yeah,
sweater on.
I'm inside my room, so yeah, that's why I'm not put on jacket, and I don't like to put on jackets. Like I just love my, light clothes, not heavy clothes.
I feel the
Yeah,
same way. My dad always keeps the house very cold. And when we ask him to turn up the thermostat, he'll just say, well, just put a jacket on. But they get in the way, they get in the way. I'm totally with you there.
I'm just, I just have one or two jackets in my wardrobe. That's it. I don't have that much of winter's clothes.
Yes, keep it simple always.
That's all good. So we received so many questions for you regarding your Miss World journey, and we have shortlisted a few questions out of them because we can't ask all the questions because it will make this live 3 or 4 hours long. So we have shortlisted a few questions out of them. So the very basic question is that how's the journey going as of now as Miss World America, and how excited are you for representing America at Miss World?
This journey has been incredible, and this opportunity is the honor of a lifetime. For me to be able to represent my country on the international stage is something that I've dreamed about my entire life. And I don't know if you've seen, but I posted a couple times on my social media about how long this journey has been. It hasn't been just this year. This actually marks my 20th year doing pageants. I started when I was 7 years old, and I'll be turning 27 shortly. So almost 2 decades of working towards this particular moment has felt like the longest time in the world, but also has gone by so quickly. And for me to finally achieve the dream of going to Miss World that I've had since I was a little girl is there's just no words to describe how elated and honored that I feel.
It's a huge honor to be very honest. Like you are representing your country internationally, and that too in the biggest pageant in the pageant industry, that Miss World. And always, to put in the sash of your country across your chest and to be called by your country's name internationally, it's a huge thing. But at the same time, it's a pressure as well. So, like, how are you handling both the things together? Of course, you are excited about this thing that you are going to Miss World, but at the same time, it's a thing that it's a kind of weight also. It's a pressurized thing also that you have lots of expectations from people around you. So, how are you handling both the things?
I'm handling both of them quite well because I know that while this journey will be hard, it will be very rewarding and full of fun life experiences that I'm going to remember forever. Even though it's nerve wracking to think that I have the entire country watching, I will also remember that I'm going to be making friends along the way, talking to the other girls, and even in the process of meeting them on social media, I've already made so many friends with the other country representatives. And I just know that that 30 days at Miss World is going to be the best time of my life. So it's worth all of the stress and the anxiety when I think about those memories that I'm going to make. So I'm handling it quite well. It's also fun to see all the support that we're garnering online from the pageant bloggers and the fans. I keep getting tagged all day long in these like prediction boards or top
Yeah.
picks, and for them to take time out of their day to make a collage of all the girls and pay attention to what we're doing and notice our hard work is incredible, because sometimes you think, okay, I'm doing all this, but is anybody really watching, or do people actually care? And then you see, oh my gosh, they do, and they're watching and they support us. And that's incredible. It makes you feel like a little mini celebrity. So it's truly surreal to see all of these people mentioning my name and talking about my road to Miss World.
You are one of the top favorites to win this year, I have to say, because though I have not made hot picks quite a long time, but I have like I'm seeing all the hot picks, and you are one of the top favorites to win this year.
Which is totally crazy to me because I think to myself, okay, I love that for me first of all because it means people support me and they see potential in me, but it also makes me nervous because I'm like, oh, I got to be extra careful now about everything that I do and say because people are watching and I don't want them to think that I goof up or do
Yeah.
something that would make them, like lower me in the ranking. I don't know. It's almost like watching American Idol and you see your favorite people get voted on in real time to like climb up the ladder or go down. I was actually talking to somebody the other day and they told me that you guys have Indian Idol too, right?
Yeah, we do have.
Yeah,
So it's
it's
a
nerve
long, like
wracking to be in a live competition like this.
Like there are so many seasons of Indian Idol. So as you said, because you are the top favorite, and when you are climbing up, so you never want to climb down. You
Yeah.
just want to climb up.
Exactly. Exactly. You only want to go up from there. So hopefully, I'll maintain the positive view in the eyes of the fans. But no matter what, I'm just honored that again that they notice me, that they mention me, and that they care so much about this pageant because they're really the backbone of the support that we get. So I love all the fans. Keep tagging me in everything.
Because you deserve all this thing. As I was also discussing with one of my teammates, so when we were, mentioning these things that with whom we should start our lives, and when we were discussing about this edition of Miss World, so one of the top favorite common name that came was yours name, because then we were discussing that okay, this year who is the heavy favorite to win or who is like leading as of now. So your name was one of the common name. So the love that you're getting, the appreciation that you're getting is incredible and it's valid as well, because you are really coming strong for the crown.
Thank you. That means the world to me. And for this journey, like I mentioned, to be as long as it is, you go from being very close, right? Like the last couple of years I've competed in pageants, I was runner up. So let's say I was fourth runner up, third runner up, first runner up, and you get really, really close. But you start to think, okay, is there something missing? Or what is it that I'm missing in order to achieve this goal? Once you figure out what that thing is, or that magic moment happens for you, then now to see myself in the position of people considering me as a strong contender for Miss World, it was like an overnight shift, right? From being somebody who's just trying to get to that first goal to now being, watched and admired. It's been crazy. I feel like my life has like flipped upside down, but it's in the most incredible way.
And that's the I would like I always say this thing, and one of my teachers told me this thing that when you get success very easily, so that success you might enjoy very early in your life, but the taste of that success is not going to be long lasting. But when you get success after so many hurdles and after so many cross points, though you might get it late, but the taste of that success is going to be the best thing in your life.
It
So
is.
that is
It's
so
true.
important.
And I'm so excited for every other girl who has this opportunity with me, and we're all going to join in on this experience together. And it's going to be just so memorable and so special. So I know that you'll get the chance to meet some more of the contestants, and I cannot wait to see their lives too.
Surely, surely, we are planning more lives with Miss World Queens. And also, because Miss World was in India last year, and I had my honor and privilege to watch the show live from the venue, and of course, to meet all the Miss World Queens. Yeah, so
Wow.
I also met Julia Morley during the event. It was an amazing night, with honest. So, rumors are saying this thing that Miss World would be in India again this year. So, if it happens, so how excited are you about it? Because I am super excited.
I'm sure you would be, and I hope to see you there if it is in India again. But India as a country is so iconic and beautiful. It would be such an honor to travel there, whether that's for Miss World or just on vacation. I've actually grown a lot closer to the Indian community here in the United States because my director, Ekta Saini, is Indian American, and she's one of the first Indian American directors of a big national pageant in our country. So I'm very familiar with at least the Indian American culture, maybe not quite the same as what you guys experience there. And also her daughter, Sri Saini, and her husband, Sanjay, have very much welcomed me into their family with open arms. So I've been able to learn a little bit more about Indian culture, like the food and the customs. And actually, I learned something. I wonder if you use this in your life, which is to call people G, like you
Yeah,
say their name and then G. Do you say
yeah,
that?
yeah, we do.
Yeah?
It's a kind of thing that we should respect from others, like elder people. And usually in some specific culture as well, we use that word G.
Yes. Okay. So if it's in India, I'm going to be calling everybody G, just for safekeeping, just in case, to give them
That's
the
what is
respect that
amazing.
they deserve. So I'll get to use some of the knowledge that I've accumulated. I'll get to try it out.
Surely, surely. And if it will be in India again, so I will try my level best to showcase the Indian culture and hospitality at level best, like I did last year. Because when before the show as well, I had the time to spend with Miss World Finland, Miss World Thailand. So when all of them were in New Delhi, because I also live in New Delhi, so half part of the Miss World was in New Delhi last year, and then the remaining was in Mumbai. So if it happens in India again, so I will teach you so many things in our language, about our culture, the food,
I
all
would
the
love
things.
that. I need to start practicing. So after this, you have to message me some phrases that I can use for people so that if I go to India, I'm just going to blow them away. They're going to be like, where did you learn that?
The last time I
It'll be
also did
perfect.
the same with Miss World Finland and Miss World Chile. I typed them some phrases and some of the common lines that they can use in India. It helped them actually.
I know G and I know, of course, namaste. But my
Yeah.
my mind is open to a lot more, so I'm ready to learn.
That would be amazing. So, regarding the friendship, as you said that you have talked to so many other contestants of yours from this edition. So, like, do you have any specific best friend, or do you have any kind of chat group where you girls talk with each other?
It's so early that I don't know if I have a best friend or several best friends yet, but the people that I correspond to the most would probably be Miss South Africa. I chat with her quite a bit because I'm actually planning a trip to South Africa in this month. So, of course, I wanted to reach out to her and say, if you're in town, I'd love to meet. And I also recently chatted with Miss Ireland, and at times I will send girls memes. I don't know if they think they're funny or not, but I love memes, so I do send girls the memes. And I have sent, I think, Miss Australia a meme or two about her country. And I did just recently talk to Miss Jamaica because with the fires that are going on in Los Angeles, many girls
Yeah.
reached out to me and expressed their support and their condolences to me. So thank you to all the girls that messaged me. But Miss Jamaica in particular joked that I can always evacuate and come to Jamaica. So if you see me in Jamaica anytime soon, you know why. It's because she invited me.
It's a part of
So
the
yes.
evacuation process.
What was that?
The meme that she sent to you. So, if you will be in Jamaica in the coming time, so it would be a part of evacuation process. You in
Exactly.
Jamaica?
Right. I think it is a little far, but we got to do what we got to do. And the invitation was there. So I will not pass up an invitation to go visit.
That's amazing. And you know why I love pageantry? Because I have been following pageants since 2016. So it's almost 9 years. Because pageants give you lifetime friendship, you know. So when you will compete at Miss World and whatever the results are going to be, whether you win or not, but you will get lifetime friendships from that competition. And that's going to be amazing because I'm having so many virtual friends, you know, with whom I competed in virtual pageants during COVID time, but we are still in contact. And you won't believe this thing that I'm not running this page alone. We have a team and they all of them are my virtual pageant friends. It's almost 5 and 6 years we are in contact with each other, but we have never even done a single video call. We are just chatting on we are just chatting on Instagram group or WhatsApp group. That's it. We have never even made a call. It's just that we are just chatting through WhatsApp and Instagram. But the bond that we have made since 2019, it's amazing, and that's the power of pageantry.
I love that. And it's true. Social media is such a powerful tool because we get to connect with the entire world and also make friends with people that we would have otherwise never have met them. So for me to connect with all of the other contestants and the fans is so special. But I got to ask you more about the virtual pageants. So I've seen those and I'm not quite sure, how does that work? How did you get involved with doing a virtual pageant? You got to tell me.
So it depends what kind of virtual pageants we are competing. So during the COVID time, because we all were locked inside our houses, so we all were bored. We all were, you know, tense what we are gonna do. So during Instagram time, some of the pageant pages started virtual pageants. So what happens that we have to choose a country, any country, and then there are so many rounds. Like it's a female virtual pageant, so we have to choose a model as well, imaginary model, and then there are so many rounds like the swimsuit, the evening gown, then the national costume, and all the rounds. Then we also have the personal interview round. So on the basis of how you answer the question, how what's your vocabulary, and how confident you are in answering the questions, it goes like that. So on that basis, the whole competition happens.
That is so fun. And although it sounds hard because it is a competition, I'm wondering if maybe I should have been doing virtual pageants this whole time. Maybe I'm missing out because that sounds fun and you don't have to show up in person. So that sounds kind of
That's
tempting, actually.
it's amazing, you know, and because I also aim to represent India one day internationally in pageants as a real time contestant. But trust me, me participating in virtual pageants has actually helped me a lot in terms of Q&A, you know, because when you are answering all the questions, you just get 30 seconds to answer and 40 seconds to answer, and you never know this thing that with whom you are competing because we all were inside our houses and we never know that how your competitors are in real time, you know, how good they are in terms of speaking. You are just giving your answers. That's it. So it has actually helped me a lot in terms of my Q&A practice, the virtual pageants.
That is so incredible. I would have never known that virtual pageants were so popular, but it makes total sense and it seems so fun. Plus, I will say, Indian women in pageants, and of course, men too, it seems, are always so well spoken. Anytime I hear a Miss India answer a question, they're always so eloquent and just have really well thought out answers. So I might need to come to India and you guys can train me on my Q&A. What do you say?
You are already in that because we are putting you as one of the best speakers from this batch. So you're already top
Ah.
notch in that. You're
Okay,
already top notch in that.
I love your
So
sweetness. Thank you. But I'm still serious. One of these days I'm gonna come by and I'm gonna get that proper Indian pageant training. And then I'll be just unstoppable
that
after
would be
that.
that would be amazing. That would be amazing. So for that, we have received so many questions for you, and out of them, we have some pageant petty questions as well. As I said, we have shortlisted the questions. So one of the questions that we have is regarding your Beauty the Purpose project. We all know this thing that BWAP is the most important part of Miss World, and without BWAP, there is no Miss World, right? So would you like to elaborate about your BWAP for everyone?
Thank you. I would love to. My Beauty with a Purpose is all about advocating for people with disabilities, specifically
Yeah.
autism. And this is very personal to me because my little brother Adrian is autistic. And he went through an experience that changed the way I view people with disabilities in our society. When my brother was
Yeah.
13 years old, he scratched his name on the sidewalk at school with a little rock. He just wrote his initials ADRX. It measured probably like 15 centimeters tall. That was it. But because of his disability, he didn't realize that this would be wrong. Nonetheless, the school arrested him and gave him a criminal record. So at just 13 years old, my brother was arrested for writing his name on the sidewalk. And as somebody with a disability, you can imagine how terrified, how scared, and how regretful he was in that moment as a child, not knowing that what he did would affect him for the rest of his life. And this was the moment that it became really personal for me because I realized that people with disabilities are still discriminated against in our society. We don't respect their rights. We don't include them and see them as equal. And that's what made me join Miss World because after years of doing pageants, I noticed that my message was being heard, but not necessarily understood. And the first year that I entered Miss World America was last year. And I spoke about my Beauty with a Purpose of advocating for people with disabilities. And I was able to win the Beauty with a Purpose category. And Julia Morley actually awarded me Miss Beauty with a Purpose in the United States. And that moment was so satisfying. And it felt as though finally people are listening to the story and they're understanding the work that needs to be done. So as Miss World, I would love the opportunity to bring this cause and this message to different corners of our globe that it's not being heard as well as it should be. Whether that's in the United States, whether that's in other countries, there's people all over the world with disabilities who have a voice that need to be heard. And that's what my Beauty with a Purpose is about.
That's an amazing project, I would say. And again, I would say this thing that when we work for other people in terms of their wellness and welfare, the feeling that you get is amazing. And I can say this project going very far in the competition. So you might also win BWAP in Miss World as well. This is an amazing project.
Thank you. And if that were to happen, that would be incredible. But for people just to hear the story of what my brother went through would be the biggest win for me because I don't think they realize how people with disabilities are seen or treated. I mean, we all know somebody who has a disability, right? Whether that's a friend or a family member or just somebody in your community. But what we don't realize is that their needs are not being met and their rights are not being respected. So to advocate for people like my brother is my life's greatest purpose. And I'm so blessed that I finally found an organization that sees that and appreciates that and really gives me the platform to talk about this. Because of course, it is the genesis of Miss World is Beauty with a Purpose and giving women a voice to talk about their causes. So the fact that people are hearing, clicking, texting me, commenting on it, they're seeing the message. And that's all that I want is for the message to get across.
That's amazing. And I have always believed this thing that people with disability, like disability is also an ability. Like when you are writing the word disability, so ability is also in that word. So it's just a matter of the fact that those people with disability, they don't need to be treated differently. It's just that they need extra care, they need extra love, and they need to be addressed in a specific way. So when we talk about specific way, so it should not be that they are being discriminated just because they are different. They are not different. It's just that they need extra care, extra love. I would say extra attention because I have few people in my friend zone, who are in that category. So I have always learned this thing that when I'm saying disability, so it's also an ability. It's just that that ability should be treated the way we treat other people as well. Because that
100%.
easy.
Yes, and I appreciate you saying that so much. It is true that we need to change the way that we talk about people with disabilities so that we're not putting them beneath ourselves, but rather
Yeah,
lifting them up and seeing that although people have differences from one's own, it's our differences that make us special and unique. And it's up to us to have empathy and understanding for other people, whether it be that they think differently or behave differently than we do. We must put down our pride of I'm right and this is the only way to act or behave and understand the way that other people see the world. So for me to see the world now through my brother's eyes has changed everything about me and makes me realize that at the end of the day, it's about advocating for the people that we love and making sure that they can thrive. And that's the greatest purpose of all.
it is. It is. And I've always learned this thing that because I also have a cause that's the mental health space because like I started that cause during the COVID time. So I've always learned that thing because of the experience that I've received and of course the criticism that I got. because some people said me, if you're working for mental health and depression, anxiety, these things, so you are mad because there's nothing like depression, there's nothing like anxiety. So some people also said me this thing that you are mad because you are doing all these things. So through that experience, I learned one thing that when the whole world is silent, even one voice can make a difference. So for our specific causes, we all can be that one voice, to make that difference. So that even if we are not on this earth, so that difference that we created can be turned into a legacy, and people can carry forward that legacy. So you are doing the same work. So kudos to you for that.
Thank you. And thank you for saying that. And I just want to congratulate you on all of your hard work that you're doing to advocate for mental health. That is so important. And it's something that affects every single person in this world. And it's not something that we talk about enough. Even though conversations have increased on mental health, there still needs to be that deeper understanding of, okay, how can we make people feel seen and heard, like we were just talking about. So I love that even in your support of pageants and your avenues as a competitor, you also have your own beauty with a purpose in your advocacy. And that's so incredible to see that.
Yeah, that's what I've learned, and it's a long story. That's why I started that mental health space thing, because it will take 2 or 3 hours to explain that thing. It's a whole long story. So moving on to next question, we are talking about the preparations of Miss World, and we all know this thing that there are so many rounds at Miss World, except the BWAP. So how's the preparation going for all the other rounds, be it national costume or be it the World of Dance round?
One thing that surprised me was just how many categories Miss World actually has. I don't think people know how comprehensive the competition is. And it's actually exciting because I'm going to get the chance to do some things that I've never done before. So, of course, national costume is something only international pageants do. And I'll get the chance to represent the United States. We're still deciding between a couple of ideas, but it's in the works. Of course, talent is something I am thrilled to participate in because I'm a musician and an artist myself. I sing and I play a few instruments. So I'm looking forward to curating a talent that hopefully will allow me to do both. I want to sing and play an instrument. It's a little ambitious, but I'm going to try and make it work. So I'm looking forward to talent. Also, there's, of course, the head-to-head challenge where we get to bounce ideas off of one another and converse with the other contestants, whether that's about Beauty with a Purpose or about another major global issue. And I'm excited for that because I'll get to have my UN moment, where the president goes and
Yeah.
talks at the UN. Or last year they had the young women in the room in like the Indian Parliament room, and that was so cool.
Yeah.
So for me to have the chance to feel like I'm the president in the UN is going to be super cool. So I'm looking forward to head-to-head challenge as well. Also, there's sport challenge, multimedia challenge. All of these things are going to push me in new ways. And I'm really looking forward to just the opportunity of being able to do them. I will say my weakest link, if I had to be honest, my weakest link is probably going to be the sport challenge. I think there are women who are athletes their entire life and they grow up doing sports, and I'm not one of those people. So if I'm in the sport challenge, you guys just close your eyes, just look away. You don't need to watch that
No,
part.
you're amazing in that too. You're amazing in that too. I always say this thing that whenever we are not good in a certain category or we're not best from a certain category, if we perform good in that category, so that's the best feeling, and you will surely do amazing.
Thank you. I'm going to try my very, very best. And I'm definitely hitting the gym and working out so that in the meantime, I can prepare as best as I can for the sport challenge. But don't be surprised if I don't make it up to the top. I'm going to try though.
And if you win the sports round, I would be the first one to message you. Congratulations, you finally did it.
Exactly. It doesn't matter. Yeah, whether I win Miss World, it doesn't matter. I just want to win the sport challenge to prove to everybody that I'm an athlete.
That's
That'd be
gonna be
great.
amazing. Yeah, and last year also they had debate round, as you were saying, the Indian Parliament thing. And I still remember this thing. I was talking to Miss Chile and Miss Finland and Miss Thailand as well. So when it was a debate round, so I was just saying to them that I hope that there's not going to be that heated argument between any one of you, because it's a debate at the end, right? So they were saying that the environment here is very funny, very chill. But when the competition started, the debating round, everything actually turned out to be a debating room. It turned out to be a real debate room. So it might happen this year again.
True. People change when they get into competition mode, and I actually love that. And that's one of the most exciting parts about going to Miss World is this
Yeah.
is the upper echelon of all of the women from their countries. This is the best of the best, right? These women beat out multiple other contestants to be crowned the winner of their country. So everyone who's going to Miss World is extremely prepared. Not only are they beautiful, but they're intelligent, they're well spoken, they have deep purpose in the social cause that's important to them. And much like me, they've been working for this for a really, really long time. So the fact that all of our hard work is coming to fruition will be so incredible. And I can't wait to be up there with those women. It's going to motivate me to really do my best.
You will surely do amazing, and I am super excited for all of you. I think the competition is really amazing, and that's the beauty of Miss World. That's the beauty of pageantry, and we can't wait to see that happening in India. So we have next question for you, and it's regarding, it's a kind of funny question. So the question is, if you could have one superpower, so what would it be and why? Like any superpower that you can have.
Hmm, any superpower. With how much I've been traveling lately, I would say teleportation because traveling is fun. The jet lag is not. And the journey on the plane with flights lasting multiple hours can be quite tiring. I recently
Yeah.
completed a trip to Dubai, and that was a 16-hour flight. Although
Oh
I
my
was
goodness.
extremely grateful for the opportunity to be there, don't get me wrong, I'll hop on any 16-hour flight no matter where it's going in the world. It wouldn't be too bad if I could just pop in and teleport directly there. So I'd have to say teleportation would help me out a lot in life right now.
Even this would be one of my favorite superpower as well. Not just because I love traveling, I love to visit different places within a single click. It will also save my time, but the main reason is that it would also reduce my expenses
That's
because traveling is
true.
very expensive.
I didn't even think about it like that, but you're right. If you just appear there, you save the entire day, and you don't have to take time off of work. You don't have to buy the flight. Overall, teleportation is it's getting my vote right now. It's getting my vote.
Yeah, same with that. That's amazing. So we have received one question here. I just lost that question where it was. Um, okay, so the question was, I remember this question. So again, it's a kind of question that is quite regarding as Miss World. If you win Miss World, so the question is, if you win Miss World this year, so if you could have one power to bring a change in the world, so what would it be and why?
If I were to win Miss World, I would want to reach the hearts of young people who come from multicultural families and encourage them to embrace their identity and really live in their truth and be who they are. We tend to think of the world as separated into different categories. You're from India or I'm from the USA. But as we become a more global society, we're going to see an intermixing of cultures, of languages, and of customs. And I'm actually the product of one of those very circumstances. My mom immigrated to the United States from Venezuela and met my dad here in college and formed a family with him. And because of this, I have dual citizenship in two countries, and I grew up speaking two languages and eating two different cuisines. And although this was a beautiful part of my childhood, as I got older, I started to be embarrassed of that and feel as though I didn't belong, right? Maybe I wasn't Latina enough, or maybe I grew up eating different food than people in my class in high school did, American kids. And it caused a little bit of an identity crisis for me to think, well, who am I really? Who is Athena and what is my identity? But through pageants and through Miss World, I've been able to successfully merge the two and say, this is who I am. I'm a multicultural woman, and I represent the next generation of people in this world. So that would be one of my biggest global messages if I were to win Miss World, would be to reach that next generation and say, you are exactly perfect the way you are, and you don't have to compromise. You can live with both identities in harmony.
That's amazing answer. And if this would have been the final Q&A, you would have won the Miss World crown.
You're so sweet. Thank you.
You know how
That
amazing
is so
that would be to have that question on stage, and I'm sitting in the audience, and you are answering the question, and then Julia Molly is announcing this thing that Miss World 2025 is America.
well, let's hope they ask me that then. I'm gonna write, if they have a request box for questions, I'm gonna type that one in.
That would be amazing. So talking about Miss World, so who's your favorite Miss World winner as of now? Because we have had so many like iconic queens who are having their own legacy. Like I have so many favorite queens, and I can't choose one. But if I'm supposed to ask this question to you, will you be able to choose one favorite winner of yours?
In that same vein of what I was just talking about, I don't know if I could pick one, but I'd certainly have two. So Miss World 2010, Alexandra Mills was from the United States of America. And of course, as a hometown girl, I'm so proud of her for that. The following year, funny enough, she crowned Evian Sarcos, who was Miss Venezuela, and she became Miss World 2011. So just right after one another, right? It went from going from Miss United States to Miss Venezuela. And that was pretty epic for me, if you can imagine, because those are my two countries and my two cultures. So it's a toss up. I would say it's a tie between one of those two because I felt like they both represented me in a lot of ways.
That's amazing. And for you specifically in those 2 years, you would have said this thing to all the people around you that the crown has come back home. Like the Miss World crown has come back home from, USA to Venezuela.
Exactly. That was a
For
super
you, it
epic
was a
time,
symbol victory.
right?
Yeah.
What more could you ask for? I couldn't ask for anything better than that.
Yeah, that's amazing. I received this question from one of my fellow pageant pages because that person is also a pageant holic like me, and he's following you as well. So he insisted me to ask this question, and the question is regarding the Q&A, as we were talking so much about Q&A. So the question is like, have you started your preparations specifically for Q&A round? And why we're asking this question because last year we saw this thing because when I was at the venue and when all the top five contestants were answering the final Q&A, you won't believe this thing that all of them, all five of them, actually gave a winning answer. So it was so difficult for the judges and as well for the audience, to actually choose between those five contestants that who is the best because all five of them were fantastic speakers and they all battled it out together and finally Czech Republic won the crown. So have you started your preparations for Q&A specifically?
I have. I've been preparing for the opportunity to answer a question on stage. Of course, I would need to qualify for that round, but in the
Yeah,
occasion that I do, I want to be ready for that. I would say my strategy when it comes to answering Q&A is giving an answer that's unique to Athena and that only I could give. A lot of that stems from me talking about my life, my personal experiences, and really telling my story, whether that be growing up as a multicultural woman or being the sister of a man with autism. Or I've even talked about my career in the entertainment industry, working and living in LA, and how that's prepared me to be in a job like Miss World. So all of those things are very uniquely me, and I try to give answers that only I could give, right? Because in pageants, we do tend to see some answers that, while beautiful and very touching, are a little bit generic, like world peace or I just want to help
exactly.
people or I just want to be a role model. And those things are wonderful, don't get me wrong, but it won't leave with the judges knowing anything about me. So my strategy is really just to let them see inside my heart and talk to them about my own life and my experiences and hopefully just have them resonate with that and feel like they can relate to me.
That's a very fantastic strategy, I would say. And I can totally relate to you as well. Why I'm saying this thing because while competing virtual pageants, so um, other used to answer in this way that, okay, I want to win because I have a purpose and I want to be the voice of others. That's fantastic, as said. But I always find this thing that it is very common to say to judges. It's very common because everyone can say in this way. So I always have this strategy in my mind that, okay, whatever I'm speaking and whatever I'm typing or saying, the message is the same but the way of speaking should be different. So how I used to start my answer was in a way that's regarding me. But at the same time, I used to start in a very poetic way. I can write with all the poetic lines. Then I will start about my project. Then I would give reasons that why should I win the crown and like that. So I always used to have this thing in my mind that okay, I have to be smart, but at the same time, I have to be unique as well.
Of
So I can totally relate to
course.
you in that.
Yes, yes. You don't want to give an answer that anybody could give because then what does that tell them about you, right? So that's always my strategy is even if it's not the most perfectly thought out answer, I just try and speak
Yeah.
from the heart and tell them something that they might not have known about me so that they can see, here's what I can uniquely offer this job. And pageants are a lot like other jobs. People think that it's all about like glitz and glamour, but no, you're kind of convincing them why you're the person for the job. And in any other interview, of course, they're going to ask you point blank, why should we pick you and not the other candidates, right? So in any other job interview, you'd start telling them, this is what I bring to the table. And in pageants, you can do that in a similar way. Of course, a little bit more gently, but you want to hype yourself up. So that's something I've practiced doing is like talking myself up and making them think that
That's
I am the girl for the job.
That's so true. And I would like to share one small part of that. I was competing in a pageant. It was again a virtual pageant. It was in 2022, and they actually gave us the final Q&A one day before. So the question was why we should pick you as the winner. So they told us thing very clearly that you have to give the answer in 30 seconds, and it should be a video answer. So I started practicing that answer, that question, like for I would say 10 to 12 hours continuously because I badly wanted to win that time. So you won't believe I was recording the answer and like I was standing in front of the mirror, I just set my camera and I started answering the question. So instead of 30 seconds, it went out to be 6 minutes 30 seconds something. And when I showed the video to my mother, so she was like, reduce it to 30 seconds, not 6 minutes and 30 seconds.
You're like,
Can you believe
it's
this thing
close
that I answered like
enough.
I was like, okay, it's fine. Like 6 minutes is not that bad. When I actually answered that question and I sent my video, so the answer was of 29 seconds, right? And at the time, I learned
Yay!
this thing very well that it is very important to learn time management as well while you are answering the question. So, like, it might help you as well for Miss World, like how to be very specific in terms of answering the question.
I'm going to take you with me. Ready? We're going to go on a house tour. Whee! I'm going to
That
take
would be
you
amazing.
into another room so that we can keep this going. My phone was fully juiced up, but of course, this Instagram live takes up so much of the battery.
It
So
really
here we go.
does.
Okay, we're back.
No worries about that. We have just two last questions for you. So the second last question is regarding your hobbies. So what are your hobbies? Because if you win Miss World this year, so people would really want to know that what hobbies our reigning Miss World have, to perform.
I have so many hobbies. A lot of them revolve around my work in the entertainment industry. So I'm an actress and a model in Los Angeles, and I also do journalism. So much like you, who's conducting this live and interviewing me and asking me questions, I am an entertainment journalist. So I'll talk to people on the red carpet and do press junkets about their movie, get to know a little bit more about them and their career. And although I get paid, I do consider these to be hobbies because I'm still figuring out what career path I want to take. So in the meantime, I'm just trying everything. I'm also a musician. I love music. I love to sing. And I grew up playing the alto saxophone, the piano, the Venezuelan guitar. And just recently, I learned a little bit of the bass. So I posted a video of me playing that. And so I just love the arts, the performing arts in general. I'm super artistic and creative. Those are all of anything that gets me in front of a camera or a microphone, I'm there.
That's amazing, first of all. And if you win Miss World, so we can actually say this thing that winning Miss World is an all-rounder.
Well, I'll definitely take every opportunity I can to perform. I tend to pitch myself as like a national anthem singer here in the States. I'll say, do you need someone to sing a national anthem? Because I can do it. So as this world pass, I travel different countries. Everything
I actually
good?
lost you. Yeah, now I can see you. In between, I lost you.
Oh no, that's okay. I'm still here.
Yeah. So we have one last segment of it, and I think that's the most favorite segment of this live for me. So what I'm gonna do right now, before we end this live, I'm gonna announce this thing that Miss World 2025 is America, and you have to give your winning reaction. Like, how would you react if you win?
This is gonna be a moment, right?
Let's do this.
Okay. Okay.
All
Okay,
right,
I'm ready.
ladies and gentlemen, the winner of this year's Miss World is America. Woo! That would be amazing. I hope you won't cry on stage.
I know they do that in the Olympics. They do like a. I'm not really sure what this is, but I know they do it in the Olympics. So maybe I'll throw that out there.
That would be amazing. And I hope that you actually get what you deserve. And that would be amazing to have you as the next Miss World. And I can proudly say this thing to my friends and fellow, that I got the chance and opportunity to interview the reigning Miss World.
Thank you. Thank you so much for this opportunity. And I just want to say that my motto with this competition is that winning isn't everything, but wanting
Yeah.
to is, right? Wanting something so bad that you're willing to put yourself out there and interview for a public job or train for months and months and months. And so this journey is going to culminate so beautifully, no matter if that's with winning the crown or just with winning in life and winning those friendships with those other girls and those opportunities. So no matter what happens, thank you so much for your support. And I'm so honored to have been on this live with you. Thank you to everybody in India who's been watching. And one last thing then, how do you pronounce your name correctly?
My name?
Yes.
So my name is Himanshu. So we do say it like Himanshu.
Himanshu. Okay,
Yeah.
thank you so much, Himanshu G, for this incredible live.
That was good. And it will work for you very well,
Yes.
if you like visit India as the reigning Miss World. That would be amazing.
Thank you so much. Thanks for inviting me on this live.
Thank you so much. Have a great day ahead and all the best for Miss World.
Okay, we'll talk later.
Bye-bye.
Thanks so much.
Bye.
Bye.